Hey guys, welcome.
Good morning.
So today, Victor and I are going to talk about the secret to having a successful growth mindset. This is like the game changer right here. Now, before we get started though, you got to give us a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Help the algorithm, guys. Send this to everyone so that we can help them.
Can you imagine how much the world will change if we all embraced a growth mindset? If we were all about like, all right, I'm empowered. I want something different. This doesn't feel right. I'm tired of like being locked down. I'm tired of being afraid. I'm tired of people fighting. There's like these people that I love in my life and like we're just fighting. And why can't we just come together? Well, that means most of us, including myself, we have to change a little bit. And so in this video, we're going to share exactly what a growth mindset looks like. Now, real quick backstory. So we always have to, in case this is the first time you know us, I'm Robyn.
Victor.
And 6 years ago, we moved our 5 kids into a Class C motorhome so that we could go travel the world and create lots of memories together. And it's been great. We owned a gymnastics facility for 20 years. Victor's been a personal trainer for 30 years. We were all about health and fitness, but we realized that's not enough today. Just being about health and fitness is really not going to take the world where it needs to go. We have to embrace the full spectrum of living life. And part of that is having a healthy relationship. You know, it's kind of uncommon for couples to be married for whatever we got, 25, 20, I don't know, 20 some years.
We've been together for almost 30 years and it's a unique challenge. And I can honestly say that in the last 5 years that we've moved into our RV, there's parts of me that have just thrived and exploded. There's parts of me that I didn't know really existed, and I'm the rooted one. I'm the one that didn't want no change. But I also know what being with my wife and my girlfriend at some point for so long, I knew that she was going to thrive, and I wanted to propel her that. I wanted to give my kids something I didn't have. So I knew I was going to get that knockout punch is going to be really, really challenging for me, but I still did it and I still continue to do it. And I was sharing with Robyn this morning over coffee, and that's part of the reason we're kind of inspired to do this video, right? Mm-hmm. Is that there's a reason. I told her there's a reason you don't want to do this. It's because it's so friggin' hard.
Do what?
To change, to evolve as a person, to grow, to try to teach the old dog a new trick. There's a reason that's a saying. It's because it's so darn hard. For me, pre-lockdown, I was booked every hour I wanted to work. I had reputation in the place where we worked, and I could go back, input myself, and instantly book out a schedule. In person, walk down the street. Hey, how are you? Oh, I have this. I want to work. But for me to learn a new way of marketing myself on a digital is every day an ego swallowing challenge. I told Robyn, like, there's a reason people don't do this. It's so hard on some level. You want to protect that. And then it also creates conflict between us. In the 5 years that we've done this, I've also had more issues with Robyn than I ever had. And I hate that. But at the same time, it's part of the growth and the challenge that we're trying to propel ourselves in. And I'm sharing only that challenge because I know what you're going through. If you're trying to everyone has been forced to a different path. And right now, what tends to hurt is the people closest to you, right?
Yeah. And
it comes down to that cognitive function too.
So that's my secret that I want to share with you today, because it really does come down to, but I wanted to set the stage a little bit so make sure you understand. So where we thrive is totally different. I thrive in adventure, new experiences. Victor thrives in more consistency. Now, I put this on Instagram yesterday. I personally think he would thrive great on newness. However, the newness happens to be linked to income. You can't, most human beings, but if you're a dad especially, there is no way that you are just going to be okay with like, whatever, if we zero out our accounts, no big deal. Like, you don't even have to be a defender like Victor, that you want to provide for your family and you want to create some sense of security. Right. And it's a natural thing that when we live this lifestyle, we had to figure out the income along the way. We don't really have this company that we're getting a salary from. We've been entrepreneurs since we started dating, and so we've always had to create our own income. Well, yeah, if what I'm going to share, this secret of cognitive function, really plays a role. So we have our own individual core desires, our needs, but at the root, yes, he does like routine, but it's not because he likes routine. Because if he, as he figures out this new way of bringing in money, basically, like, if money wasn't an object, all the things that we argue about like
Sure.
the RV, like if we had a problem with the jacks this weekend, worrying things get broken, all of that disappears if money wasn't an object.
Right.
And so what I'm always telling him, I'm like, well, what it comes down to, and if you take my empowerment course, what it comes down to is understanding your cognitive function, because it's not like, oh, do I like to travel? Do I not like to travel?
No.
It comes down to how you make money, or how you thrive in the world, how you show up in the world, comes down to how your brain's wired. So I keep talking about this because it is so important. You have 4 functions. There's 8 functions total. You have 4 functions. You have your primary that you kind of develop when you're really young. You probably see, if you have young kids, you probably already see that they have a
tendency for a certain.
Then you have your second one that's developed usually around your teen years. Okay. This is assuming you kind of have a healthy childhood, no major traumas.
Sure.
Then your third one, maybe around 30 or so, you start to develop that third one. Maybe it takes you longer until you're about 40, 45. And then you realize. And then you have a fourth one that, it takes sometimes until you're 60 to develop that one. Or if you're aware of it, maybe you can develop it a little bit sooner. But for most of us, we're playing with 2 for sure, and maybe a third.
Dabbling in that third.
Okay, so Victor, and if you're watching, you work with Victor, he's so amazing. This is why his schedule was booked, is because when he's in person, there is not a personal trainer that can connect with you like Victor can, because he has SI, meaning he has past information. And so with experience doing the same job for so long, he has this file cabinet
I call it my Rolodex.
Yes.
I call it my Rolodex. I can walk in, person walks in, I'm like, okay, this is what they need today because of all this previous experience. I know exactly what kind of exercise, I know what kind of energy I need to bring. I know how to mirror whatever that is and then bring them up. It's actually, we talk about staircases, but I always tell Robyn the challenging part is sometimes you just need a 2-inch step for them to take it.
Yeah. So for him, he has 2 functions that are primarily working, his SI and his FE. So in this situation right here where we're doing a video, it's really hard for him to feel your emotions and then
play off of it.
And put it into a past experience where he files it away, because his third function is TI. And so someone who has SI, they're like thinking about a past memory or reliability from data in the past. Well, this worked in the past to fix a shoulder injury. This worked in the past for a knee injury. I rely on that data. I read your feelings, and I know I in my brain, I have boxes for this is the protocol for this is the protocol for that. So great in person, but it becomes really hard on a digital platform because you're like, where are the feelings? I don't know where the feelings are. And so what he has to do is draw upon his last function, which is NE, which is all like random ideas, which in some ways is like the most opposite of his first functions, because here it's like reliable data. I feel it right here. I see your feeling. Like he literally sees emotions. It's crazy. But then this like random idea of, and he'd have to like really draw on this randomness of ideas to create content to bring people into a platform where he can feed off of, like respond to their emotions and use reliable data. It's crazy, but it's so simple. It's like, it's everybody's key to a growth mindset. And I don't know, he's even looking at me a little bit like, you make it sound so easy, but it's not.
It's not.
But if he can reach to that element of NE and like, let me just get a bunch of ideas, let me just brainstorm. His brain does not work on brainstorming. It analyzes, like, I know this information, I can trust this information. Okay, now I use myself as self-deprecating too. I'm NINTE, meaning I am full of internal ideas. I see, like, I connect random dots that make me seem like an amazing conspiracy theorist, for sure. I connect all these random dots and I think of like, this is the perfect way to process them and to lay them out. And the difference is, like, so I have TE, his TI. We always talk about TIs are really good at, like, all the dishes go in this box, all the plates go in, or cups go in this box, whatever. You put them by their category. You're really good at categorizing. People with TE are really good at seeing systems. Okay, they're not so good at individual boxes. That's why when you listen to my videos, sometimes I just go on random tangents forever, and I need the TI to bring me back on track. Yeah, and so you end up with these big picture ideas that nobody can follow because you're just thinking way too many steps in advance in the future. And a lot of people, especially if they have SI, are like come back to me, Robyn. I have no, like, I love how much you're smiling about it, but I have no idea what you're talking about. And then I have FI as my third, and so that means I'm really sensitive to my own feelings. I'm not reading yours. I'm even videoing thinking, how do I feel in this moment as I'm videoing? I'm having fun. The sun feels great. And it could come across like FI people. Now remember, like, that means 50% of the population. FI might seem a little bit more selfish, and FEs might be so selfless. And so that
a conflict.
Can be played to your strength. That's
and in the end, that's sort of the take home. Here's the reel back, right? So Robyn was talking about these cognitive functions, and sort of the critical component for this growth is a very old school thought, like, make your weaknesses your strength. Now it becomes very challenging. It's very easy for me, and in all sports, like, well, I'll play to my strengths all the time, but I know these weaknesses are clearly there, and I know if I bring them up, that broadens my availability to happiness.
And it's hard because it's right now we kind of hit heads on that. It's like, no, I got to play to my strengths. I'm like, well, but if you ignore your weaknesses, it's limiting you. Like,
correct.
Literally right now, it's limiting you. And for myself, I didn't finish my weakness. My last function is SE, is my ability to see exactly what's in front of me. And if I bring that up, it makes me really good as an entrepreneur. But it's hard for me to slow down and just observe what's right in front of me. Like, what do you need right now? And so he was saying how, okay, unfortunately, it's the sad reality. I get it. Like, for Victor, he's like, wants to throw a temper tantrum all the time. Like, this is not fair that these draconian measures are closing my business. Now, simultaneously, it's like, wow, this is pretty rad that I'm here in St. George and I'm with my family. It's like my highest purpose in life is to be with my family. And this is pretty cool, but it doesn't take away the fact that we need that worthiness of making money. And so you end up in this weird, you as everybody, anybody can end up in this situation where, because things that were way out of our control got changed. And I mean, I would love, as the control freak, I'd love nothing more than to be in control of this and tell everybody, like, hey, we all need to open up and get back to work. But we're probably past that point now. We're too far in it. So what we need to do is adapt faster. That's where we come on these videos. Like, we have to adapt faster and be like, look, we don't have time to throw temper tantrums anymore and say, like, it's not fair. If the damage has been done, we need to adapt, and we need to be like, all right, we're going to have to restructure this world to play to our strengths and bring up our weaknesses so that we're successful. And that's your secret. That's your take home to the growth mindset. You want to grow, you want to evolve. This, like, it's not going back to what it was. We have to go forward, and we can create something amazing together, but we got to kind of draw off of those. What is that one thing that is like,
that's holding you back?
So hard for me to just, like, see in front of me. Literally, my SE is so pathetic that I'll be driving, and Isabelle's is pretty strong. I'm like sitting in the car, the truck, and right in front of me, she's like, oh, it's weird that they have a dead coyote on their roof. And I'm like, what? Oh yeah, there's a dead coyote on the roof in front of me. Like, my vision is so far out there that it's like what's right in front of my circle is just, I don't take it in. And his would be the opposite. Like, his circle is so
tight that I don't see.
Tight in the past. That's so hard. It's like his circle is right behind him, and so it's hard to see forward. And wherever your circle is, if you just know, okay, well, in these situations, I play to that strength, but I gotta grab this fourth function that's like, oh, it's so painful.
So let them know where they can go for more information.
Definitely click the link below, and I have I have my empowerment class, and I have a video on personality typing, personality hacking, so that you know what your cognitive function is and how to play to it.
And we know that we have kids on our videos, so we can't accept comments, but we do love all the emails we've been receiving. Thank you so much for the support. Takes us a little bit of a challenge to get on here and give you guys some information that you can actually use to make your life amazing.
All right, thanks.